Hi, I'd like to discuss with you guys today different ways that we can help using flower essences during the pandemic crisis. So I'm going to cover a few that cover both fear and scared, but also enhancing the immune system. So obviously many people have heard of Bach flower remedies and they've heard of the rescue remedy. But there's a hell of a lot more flower essences out there that can help with the psychological conditions that people might be facing today. So I'm going to cover some of those right now. So the 5-flower formula, also known as rescue remedy, contains 5 different flower essences, which are very, very good for fear, terror, panic, that kind of thing. So we'll look at each of those right now. So cherry plum flower essence is for fear of losing control or mental and emotional breakdown, desperate destructive impulses. And how it'll help is spiritual surrender and trust, feeling guided and protected by higher power, balance, and equanimity despite extreme stress. So cherry plum is one of the flowers that makes up the 5-flower formula. There are times when the soul has difficulty bearing the weight of its incarnation. The circumstances of life oppress and condense the soul so that it literally feels that it cannot take any more pressure or stress. There is the fear that one will lose control and become erratic, destructive, or even suicidal or insane. The soul tries to protect against this fear of losing control by tightening its grip, which only leads to more pressure and stress. At these extreme times, cherry plum is indicated. It helps the individual to reconnect with the higher self, to surrender, let go, and let God. Once the self renews its trust in a higher power, the mind can then stabilize and the individual feels the capacity to cope with life's challenges again. Cherry plum flower essence brings strength and encouragement, helping the soul to overcome its extreme tension and fear. Clematis flower essence, which is another part of the 5-flower formula, treats a pattern of imbalance of avoidance of the present by daydreaming, otherworldly, and impractical ideals. Positive qualities, when you take it, are awake, focused presence, manifesting inspiration, and practical life embodiment. The soul in need of clematis has a strong inner life. The ability to image and dream is particularly well developed, but these capacities are so strong that they overwhelm and distort the soul's connection with the body and the concrete physical world. This results in a personality that is overly dreamy, lacking a vibrant emotional and physical presence in the here and now. Thus, the great talents of the clematis types are largely untapped, and physical illness easily takes hold of the body because the warm forces of the ego are lacking. In extreme states, such souls will be attracted to drugs, particularly psychotropic drugs, in order to continue the soul's addiction to disincarnated psychic activity. Clematis helps such persons to realize that the great gifts within them can be constructively channeled into the physical world. In this way, the soul forces grow warmer, richer, and more present for others. Impatience flower essence is another part of the 5-flower formula. Patterns of imbalance are impatience, irritation, tension, and intolerance. Positive qualities are patience, acceptance, flowing with the pace of life and others. The souls who need impatience find it difficult to go within the flow of time. Their tendency is to rush ahead of experience. In doing so, they deny themselves full immersion in life, even though they may appear very busy and engaged. In particular, these individuals miss the more gentle and subtle exchanges which can occur with others or with the world around them. Their overabundance of fiery forces flare up easily into irritation, impatience, intolerance, and anger. Although quite mentally agile and extremely capable, the great inner tension and excitability of such souls lead to various physical disease states or premature aging due to burnout. The impatience type tends to experience not only the powerful flaming of life, but also its gentle flowering. Through the impatience essence, the soul learns to still the attention and deepen the breathing so that the inner self becomes more receptive to the unfolding moment. The precious flower of life is then experienced in all of its fleeting fragility and delicate beauty. So that's a really good one as well. Rock rose is for deep fear, terror, panic, fear of death or annihilation. Positive qualities are self-transcending courage, inner peace, and tranquility when facing great challenges. Rock rose flower essence addresses the soul's need for courage, especially in very extreme circumstances. This remedy is indicated for moments when the soul has stepped almost completely outside the body and is in a survival mode of consciousness. The self is forced to address a severe emergency, usually of life-threatening proportions, such as violent attack or a traumatic accident. This remedy can also be indicated for the process of dying when the ego is gripped by the fear that it will be utterly annihilated or destroyed. Rock rose restores sun-like forces of courage to the human soul so that it can meet these tremendous challenges with self-transcending strength. Although rock rose can be used alone, it is most commonly used in the composite 5-flower formula: Star of Bethlehem, Impatience, Cherry Plum, and Clematis for maximum benefit. So that's a really important one at this time. So the Star of Bethlehem flower essence is for shock or trauma, either recent or from a past experience, need for comfort and reassurance from the spiritual world. Positive qualities bringing soothing, healing qualities, a sense of inner divinity. Star of Bethlehem is a deeply restorative remedy with calm, soothing properties for people who have experienced shock or trauma. It is particularly helpful for individuals who have never adequately addressed a disturbance from the past. Such persons often seek to anesthetize the trauma in inappropriate ways, such as through drugs, occult ritual, or numbing of awareness. There is a longing and seeking for part of the spiritual self which seems inaccessible. The nervous system often becomes deadened and the mental faculties are lacking in vibrancy and coherency. In some essential way, the personality is out of alignment with its higher components and is stymied from full and vibrant functioning. Star of Bethlehem helps bring about this much needed psychic and spiritual adjustment, although other therapeutic and counseling measures are often necessary to help the individual fully access the trauma and its causes. Star of Bethlehem is also one of the ingredients in the 5-flower formula indicated by Dr. Bach for broad-based emergency and first aid use. So the 5-flower formula is just a fantastic one for generally when you're feeling stressed or just feeling overwhelmed by life or, what's going on. So I personally highly recommend it for all people on the front line with this COVID-19 pandemic at the moment, 2020, but also in general when you're just feeling stressed out or anything. It's a great formula. I'll discuss a bit more about Dr. Bach. I've been to his house there. There's a video me visiting his house. He was a genius, actually, and a man way beyond his time in that particular time in the 1930s in England, of understanding how amazing flowers are and their healing for our minds and souls. So I'll discuss some other flower essences now as well.